Hey, Dante. Ooh.
Rudy, why are you dressed like you're going to a funeral? What's all
No,
this?
please. Dante, take a seat. Can I don't know, get you anything? Coffee, some kind of pastry, maybe a suppository.
I hate coffee and I'm pretty... Okay, Danish pretzel, something?
I only have Jaffa cakes.
Oh, yeah, okay, give those to me now. All of them.
Right, Dante, let's cut to the chase here, right? I want you to take a quick look at this contract that I've put together.
That's like 300 pages long, or a higher number than that, because that's as high as I can count. What are you on about? I don't know you could write.
My people drew up this contract, and I promise you, it is sphincter tight.
Well, if it's as tight as your sphincter, it's pretty loose then, isn't it?
What?
Nothing. Sorry, just didn't say a thing. So, how do you expect me to read 300-page legal document with Jaffa cakes in my mouth and crumbs everywhere, and then sign it off in any meaningful way?
No. You don't really need to read through the whole thing. It's nothing. It's just a few things clarifying your involvement in Jambags, and you maybe giving me full control of your rights to monetize how I see fit for the good of the podcast, of course.
Likeness rights? What the hell are you on about? I mean, we do a podcast without video input. Our avatars are cartoons. It's purely an audio-based experience until we get our fingers out and do some YouTube stuff, with your ears is, not your eyes is.
Right, yes. Now, yes, and I get that. I totally get that, of course. But therein lies the problem, Dante. You see, people love us, Dante, as their favourite podcast host, yes? I mean...
Really?
Presumably, I don't know.
Right, okay.
So we need to capitalise on that, for sure. But we also need to make sure that it's tied heavily into the most popular parts of gaming culture. So, without further ado, I am pleased to announce our very first production run of the Jambigo.
The Jambigo? What the hell is that? I think I know how you got to that.
They are cute and collectible figures that are dangerously overpriced and chronically understocked, so as to inflate the value of some of the best ones.
What am I looking at here? Why are there just some Barbie doll's legs sticking out of a dead horse?
It's just one of those classic Jambag moments. You know when we sent one of our team off to undercover at Cockstar Games, and in a way could escape, the crunch was to escape inside a dead horse?
Yes, we got some complaints about that, not just from gaming people, but animal rights people.
Yeah, perfect. Now it's perfectly mortalised as a Jambigo figure. Not only that, but each Jambigo unlocks exclusive content.
What sort of content?
Well, most of the podcast, I guess, they want to listen to it.
Well, that isn't all that exclusive. I mean, that's just our content. That's all we do.
Yeah, but that's only for the real fans, because you have to collect them all to get the most of an episode, you see. So here's you getting wrestled by those security guards at E3. There you are. And here I am single-handedly creating this two-person podcast with the Infinity Gauntlet. And there you are worshipping me. Oh, and there we are was a wrestling duo, the itchy burning sensation. Look, you're getting pummeled by that 40-stone man.
That was you!
Yeah, maybe our modellers took some liberties, but these are pretty awesome, right? Look at them. Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Well, how many would I have to buy to make sure that no members of the public would actually see these monstrous things?
Well, you see these 9 figures, yeah?
Yeah, well, how many of each of those are you producing?
These 9 figures.
Just these 9 figures?
Exactly. I learned from Nintendo. Yeah, I learned from the best. You always create with severely limited stock to really entice your closest and most devout fans. Nintendo, you crazy rogues, you.
Fine. I will buy these 9 figures so that nobody else sees my ass sticking out of a dead horse.
That will be £5,789, please.
Oh, for sake. And hello, Jambaggers. Welcome to another edition of the standard monthly Jambags Comedy Gaming Podcast. We had the summer holiday special for you last month. And Rudy, your hands are out of the cast now, I hope.
They are out of the cast after getting them stuck inside one of those claw machines in the arcades, trying to get a Super Nintendo Classic, and you breaking both my arms trying to get it out. They're better now. I can move them. I can, I wouldn't say I can fully move them. I've got severely restricted movement in both arms now, but I can press record on the podcast, and I can just about hold a controller now, although keyboard controls are still out for me. But,
Yeah, wouldn't do that. But yeah, that noise when both your arms broke, that really brings back the warm and fuzzies every time I imagine it.
I don't really remember it, to be honest. It was kind of cloudy after that, but it was a good holiday. It was a excruciatingly painful holiday, but, apart from that, it was good. But now, it's autumn term. We're back to, in your case, school, but in my case, work.
It's the day sender. It's the I'm on day release. Shut up.
Exactly. Well, one thing we do want to talk about though is that we found something really, really important by doing a holiday special, which is that it turns out you lot like a lot less of us.
Yeah, they can stand us in much smaller doses a lot better.
So we got more listens with less of us than Winifred Moore, which if we keep going down this track, if all we need to do is probably just say goodbye and we'll get loads of listens. I don't know. But we're going to experiment with a bit of shorter format, see how that goes. It's a bit easier, a bit quicker for us to write and edit and also just see how it goes.
Absolutely. Just kind of lessen the length a little bit, but maintain the thickness and girth of the quality.
Yeah, I feel that there's a joke there to be made, but
I don't know. If it was that obvious, it would be bashing me around in the face and dangling its balls in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything to say. So what we're trying to say is we're not going to waffle on too much in this intro. You'll be glad to know. We're going to get straight into the meat of the situation.
Yes, the throbbing meat of the situation.
That's just going to ejaculate all over your ears as you listen to us. So should we move on, Dante, onto our new segment?
From the Jambags is up next, Jambaggers.
Hey Jambaggers, it's From the Jambags, our monthly news section where we pick out the best and most important gaming stories for your consideration. And we've got quite a chunky segment today. So I think it's over to you, Dante, for the first story here. What is this chunky segment all about?
Okay, well, this is a chunky segment we've been following for quite a while. I mean, I think we were even asked to provide evidence in one of these trials ourselves because they ran out of people to talk to. But there's finally been a resolution in the long-running legal case between Kumquat Computers and Throbbing Games.
Oh, and that has been a bitter legal battle, hasn't it?
It really has. It's been going on for ages now. It's a long-standing dispute over Throbbing Games, as they had a smash hit with their Battle Royale title called 2 Weeks. It's one of the biggest games of that type to be played by preteen gamers all across the world. However, neither of these companies really got what they wanted from the ruling.
Right, okay.
So, the main dispute was over how Kumquat Games, they only allow online purchases to take place through the online Cum Shop, whereas Throbbing really wanted to sell their microtransactions directly to the consumer like they do on all of their other platforms. So, Kumquat then said, 2 Weeks cannot be on their online store, you can't play it on their platforms anymore, and Throbbing Games then sort of hit back with a kind of fairly lengthy campaign about trying to get them put back on the platform.
Wow. Okay. So that was a bold move.
It was. It's been quite bitter, and so I think what they were really looking for was that Kumquat really wanted to have their decision upheld to kind of keep the game off and to be able to charge the way they want to, and Throbbing, they wanted to be able to access all these people. But the thing is, they've framed it in a way that seems a little bit disingenuous, a little bit like it's something to do with our civil rights or something like that.
Right, okay.
So if they've released this long, fully animated and completely voiced trailer. I think there's a couple of celebrities in the voice list as well, but can't exactly tell who they are. But we play the audio here. Obviously, this is an audio experience on the podcast, but I've got it queued up, ready to go. So, play clip 2. Citizens of the world, you poor oppressed masses under the chains of tyranny, it is time to rise up and let your voices be heard. No longer will you be limited to playing 2 weeks on MaxiPad, Tentacle, PC, Android, and Magic Mushroom consoles. for the sake of your own personal liberty and freedom, you must let those kumquat douchebags know that 2 weeks must be sold on their C-phone and C-pad devices also. Mostly because we would really like to buy that new extension to our houses.
Right.
I think they said the quiet part loud at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, so very much they're interested in consumer rights by the sounds of it there.
Oh yeah, no, that seems completely what they're all about. They've got no ulterior motives whatsoever, or they'd like us to believe. So it went through the courts, and there was a final ruling where basically everybody lost in this case. The ruling said that Kumquat, they're perfectly entitled to not host 2 weeks on their devices. Nothing says they've got to do that. But they're no longer legally entitled to restrict games to one single method of payment, which across all of their games, all of the things on that platform, they could lose millions, maybe billions on that.
Probably even gajillions, I presume.
I presume that's a real number, yeah. Like I say, I can't really count beyond 300, so I'm just reading these from some other more intelligent news site.
Mm-hmm.
So we had contacted the douchebag hipsters that run Kumquat Computers, and they gave us a short soundbite. Have you got the clip for this one?
Yeah, wait a second. Let me just see if I can cue that one up, okay? And here we go.
Yep.
We're like so over making money. We were like getting into Bitcoin before it was cool. So also, would you like to buy some Bitcoin?
Okay, so it feels like they're hitting the panic button a bit quickly there. Yeah. So yeah, kind of a lose-lose situation. I guess, you might say it's our individual. Well, they would try and claim that it's your rights that suffer for your inability to play the game in certain places, but I think they're more concerned about their bottom lines.
Their bottoms are definitely being lined here. I think that's the key thing, isn't it? Wow. So I mean, that's a big story, but I want to try and neatly segue into the next one, because this one's about people losing money, and this is about Sony making money.
Oh,
can you see that?
Claire, that's a good segue. That's a proper segue.
I mean, I spent 2 weeks working on that. But basically, Sony has now announced that players must now pay each time to play any PlayStation 4 game on a PlayStation 5. So this is hot on the debacle over the payments upgrades upcoming Sony exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West, which was that you had to, if you got on PS4, you have to pay quite a bit to get it upgraded and stuff like that. It comes with announcements that yes, players will need to play anything that isn't native PS5 on the notoriously hard to get hardware. So if, for example, you have a copy of Bloodborne, and you should have, because it's amazing, to play this genuine classic, you need to pay an additional $9.99 to play every time the disc enters the system, or you download the game. If you hover over the download icon for more than 3 seconds, an automatic charge is sent to your account for $3. If you have any PlayStation Plus games that came with a subscription that are PS4 titles, you now need to pay $70 just to have those games in your library at all, and that is per title. Sony have confirmed that this is for the players who want to keep, playing any of their games, basically. Yeah. So very much a different situation to Throbbing Games and Kumquat Games is legal battle. This is some people have been defending it and saying, well, hey, look, only 3 people have got PlayStation 5 anyway, and what's the big deal?
All the rest are on Scalper Island, aren't they? They're all kind
exactly.
Of
they're all
PS5 mountain up there.
Exactly. It's it's gone to the point now where you can be seen from space. Yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I'm not too worried about the Bloodborne charges necessarily, but
what? You should be outraged. It's literally one of the best games ever made. And you just right. Okay, forget it. Anyway, carry on.
But yeah, no, I'm sure it is if I played it a bit more and actually got into it. But yeah, it seems like Sony are kind of taking the can I say piss? Yeah, piss. With the fact that they probably have the largest market share at the moment and feel like they can kind of do whatever they want. There are problems with the Microsoft platform, but the smart delivery thing seems to be a big hit with consumers, and I don't know if it's going to end up really backfiring on Sony, or if they've got enough of the market share that they can do things like this without losing too much business. What do you think?
I think, to be honest, it's difficult as a PlayStation 5 player with a lot of PlayStation 4 titles.
You're going to be poor really soon.
I'm going to be very poor very soon, but I still feel that until the point that more people have PlayStation 5s, I still feel that I'm a better human being than those people because I've got a piece of plastic that some people want but don't have yet, all because I was lucky on Amazon on the launch window.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel that makes me better than other people. So if I have to keep paying to have that superiority, that's great. But I'll be really annoyed when everyone else has got one and I can't be as smug and I can't afford it over other people.
I guess at this stage, if you can afford a PS5 or to go through a scalper to get a PS5, you can afford a little bit of extra to play the games on it. So
yeah, and I mean, I for one, will quite happily pay to play Bloodborne, daily. It's fine. It's not a problem. I'd sell one of my kidneys to play it.
Didn't you do that already?
I did, but it got returned, so I put it back in. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that was in that steak and kidney pie. That was nice.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, you got to use what's on hand, haven't you? Keep the ingredients fresh. But yeah, so I mean, that's not for Sony, but you have something here, which is about, well, this is another neat segue. Do you want to make the segue for us between hardware?
I think it's a very hard situation with all the hard. No, that's a terrible segue. It's more stuff about more people making money, and it's about how sales of hardware and software hit record levels in the past month across August. Now, August isn't really a big month for game releases, is it?
No, it's like a barren desert, very much like my private life. But carry on.
And private other stuff too. But according to Bloomberg, I actually read a Bloomberg article to get this.
Say what?
I know. I feel all smart and shit. Like I didn't just rely on Yongye or Jim Sterling for my stuff. Apparently. Despite the fact that nobody can buy next-gen consoles at the moment, they're all on Scalper Island, as we said, hardware and software is selling to record levels. Industry people thought that with the lockdown easing and also bullshit articles about how grown men shouldn't be wasting their life on video games, they thought that spending was going to wane, but they couldn't be more wrong. Apparently consumers are lining up to line the pockets of the gaming industry for all the quality content that they've been putting out over the month of August. Have you bought anything this month?
Yeah. Monster Hunter Rise for the Switch, but that was from you.
That's true, you did.
So does that count in those figures?
I'm not sure it did. I mean, I bought it from CEX. I'm not sure if that counts either necessarily.
So I bought a third-hand game. Is that what?
Yeah, I don't think we count for anything. I mean, apparently the ones that the games that really pushed this up was the remaster of Ghost of Tsushima, which I will get around to be able to say. I mean, it's a great game, but I wasn't necessarily sure that the remaster, with all its extra squeezing money out of people shenanigans, was really going to cause this. And the other one, apparently, and it's probably more of an American thing, was Madden 21, which a lot of industry people, I mean, I saw Angry Joe's review of it, and it basically went on about how the fact it hasn't changed in over a year was the same game as last year. So re-releases, apparently, and poor quality rehashes, and apparently us consumers are lapping up that kind of bullshit. Delicious.
Well, I'm going to have to bring the mood down, I think, Dante, with my final story here. Basically, we touched a bit in our holiday special about a situation at a publisher, Activision Snowstorm. There's a similar situation going on with Activision Blizzard. Yes, in the news as well. Very similar stories, someone might say.
Yeah, it's odd, the parallel. It's like, it's almost like Bobby Kotick and Bobby Kotick are kind of quite similar guys with similar deals going on.
It's weird. It's a little bit like, when you see, like, it says any, similarities to people living or dead is entirely unintentional. Very much that from a legal perspective.
Yes, very much that in a don't sue us kind of way.
But now what's happening with Activision Blizzard in particular is that gaming media sites, like the big ones, naming no names, but they're all, who you are. And you don't listen to us. But game media sites want to know if they can start covering Activision Blizzard. You see, on the back of the huge controversy surrounding the lawsuit brought against Activision Blizzard for allegedly being massive arseholes to their staff, media outlets quite rightly agreed not to cover Activision Blizzard products, because, that, of course, was also in the summer when Activision Blizzard had 0 games to release.
Had no games out. And you And having a moral spine was something you could do without spoiling your enjoyment.
Like, we're not going to cover the games that we're not going to cover because there are not any games to cover. But that is changing, obviously. We're now approaching the annual release of the Juggernaut IP Call of Duty, and those games tend to bring a lot of clicks and engagement. Mm-hmm. We've also got, what else? We've got a Diablo 2 remaster coming out, all that kind of stuff. So with the lawsuit story going to rumble on for some time, because it's actually a real legal case, news sites are desperately trying to balance their principles with their historically close ties to large gaming publishers. In an article entitled, "Don't worry, there isn't much Activision in new COD," IGN have attempted to prove that the COD developers aren't really like Activision, only use the name of the release because it's like kind of ironic now. And other media outlets are following suit with, Activision sucked, but the devs put some really hard work. And the other one, Activision, I'll probably use a modding COD to shoot Activision execs, so that makes it all okay. Bang, 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 bang.
Perfectly fine. Yeah, just kind of sending money out their way. Now, I saw an article yesterday saying, and it was like a press release from Activision saying something along the lines of, "We think consumers should do what they feel is morally right," or something like that. As if saying, we know we've kind of fucked up. So if you want to buy it, buy it.
Yeah. And I, for one, will not be buying any of those games, and I can tell you that because I never buy any Activision games. So this is a massive principled stand for me. I will not be buying any Activision Blizzard games.
Yeah.
I never buy any Activision Blizzard games, but I definitely won't be buying them. So I'm good.
State of the Gaming Nation.
And welcome to our State of the Gaming Nation segment, where we talk about things that are going on in the wider gaming community, some of the big announcements, studio acquisitions, and all that sort of stuff. And by far the biggest news over the past couple of weeks has been the new PlayStation Showcase. You caught this, didn't you, Rudy?
I did indeed, yes. It was, it was an interesting showcase, first thing that Sony done for a while. But what was big was IPs and exclusives. So you're talking new Spider-Man 2 only on PlayStation 5. Boom, not going to get that anywhere else. Which might not come as a surprise, but here was another one. Oh, Sonic are also working on a Wolverine game exclusive to PlayStation 5. Boom, drops right there in the lap. That's another IP. And a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic ground up remake, not some dodgy remaster, remake, being exclusive to PlayStation.
Really surprised me because that came out during the Xbox original era, and it was a PC game, and it was an Xbox exclusive then. So it seems like the tables have turned a little bit there. Also, the new Alan Wake remaster is going to be on all platforms, not just Xbox.
Yeah, and then if you reverse it,
yep.
To Microsoft, what have you got on the Microsoft side? You
go back a little bit because they had their They sort of talked about this during E3, as good as E3 was this year, but it does seem like the big exclusives. I mean, everyone kind of humming and ahhing about big kind of IPs that people are quite passionate about, like Elder Scrolls. The Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be an Xbox PC exclusive. The Fallout 4 remaster, or possibly Fallout 5. We're not too sure about that, but definitely the new IP Starfield that's been in development for a long time. Yep. People are very interested to hear about. And Hellblade 2, I know you're a big Hellblade fan.
Absolutely, and I played the first game on PlayStation first, where it actually launched on PlayStation first.
It did. It was an exclusive there first.
Yeah, and PC. It obviously has come out on other platforms. It wasn't touted as an exclusive. It just happened to release on PlayStation first. It wasn't really touted as it, but again, something that, launched there first. And those are tied into the ecosystem. And it kind of got us wondering, I think, didn't it, about what the selection, how does, if you've got a big IP, and you want to get it out there, what kind of, how do you make that decision about where to go?
Well, yeah. I mean, what kind of leads you down towards to one particular studio over another? I mean, obviously with PlayStation, they own that studio that's developed the Spider-Man games, so they seem to be making more Marvel IPs. But there must have been someone at Marvel that called the shots and said, "Well, we're going to be in a PlayStation exclusive because they've made that kind of offer." I mean, do you go down the PlayStation exclusivity? Do you go with Microsoft? Do you go with Nintendo? Or do you do a cross-platform game, which I suppose people still do now?
So we thought we'd like to do some kind of thought experiment about how
a theoretical exercise about this sort of stuff.
And we think, because outside of Jambags, we're legitimate businessmen and have a lot of money. We think that very much how it is done is pretty much like the old 1980s and 1990s TV show Blind Date.
Miss Cilla Black or that bit from the end of Mallrats if you don't see sort of British TV so much.
Yeah, it's very much it's very much where, it's the kind of format that's global. It was called Blind Date in the UK, but, you have a contestant who's looking for love, is really selling themselves, and they ask three contestants who they can't see, who they're
posing questions to, and they're trying to get a feel for what they're like as a person, so that they might be good to go on the dates before they kind of see what they look like and get all swept away in the way a person looks. About getting to know them as a person, again in this case it would be as a company, and making a choice based on that.
So we thought, as a thought exercise, we were going to have our contestant who is the Matrix Resurrections. If anyone's seen the new trailer, there's a new Matrix film coming out. It's been a long. I know, right? And it's coming out this year. There's been a couple of interesting Matrix games previously. Enter the Matrix Path of Neo, a Matrix MMO online as well.
I forgot about that one actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Is that still running, or is that?
Ooh, it was shut down ages ago, but they did kill Morpheus off in it.
Still,
and that's canon apparently. Anyway, not with the canon, like
did
the
they?
Stories. No, he's killed, but not by canon. It's just that canon that he died. Right. So let's just should we host our own one? So our contestant is the Matrix Resurrections, and they want to know who to go with. Yeah, they got to take their pick. Is it going to be Sega, Microsoft, or Nintendo? So let's have a mind exercise of this show, Blind Date.
Welcome to the show, Matrix. It's so nice to have you here.
Oh, what? I thought I was doing the Laura.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, you do the Laura bit then.
Right. Okay. This is sorry, guys. We need to do this properly. Oh, there, Chuck, it's Laura Blind Date. Would you like to come and have a bit of a word? Would you see if you like to just the other two contestants saying Microsoft or Nintendo?
Hey, whoa. I put on my magic sunglasses and I'm suddenly breathtaking. I would like to ask to the first company, what business model would you use to sell my totally awesome game?
Yeah, it's a Laura good question. Over to you, Sony, outside Microsoft. If you were going to release a game, what kind of model will you buy?
Well, speaking from the Microsoft arm, we would put your game as a highly marketed on Game Pass, and we would sort all your upgrades for you, make sure that you were thoroughly optimized with all of our teraflops, and make sure that you looked absolutely beautiful, darling.
Why would number Sony? What will you do with a game? Well, actually, what we would do with the game is we would really heavily monetize any kind of upgrade path. So it would look amazing. It would be done by a very competent studio here, with guaranteed high Metacritic score, and would cost an absolute fortune to be able to play on any console. Oh, it's a Laura good answer there. Blundered there. Are you gonna go Nintendo? Nintendo?
Well, we might be able to put it in 1080p sometimes, if the mood takes us. And we might let you have a cloud save if we're feeling generous, or if you pay us.
Oh, okay. You got a nice, very sweet. Got a little cloud save. What do you think, Matrix Resurrections?
Totally blown away by all the different choices. I feel like I would reach more people on the Microsoft platform, but I might get like 1 million bags of lovely money from the PlayStation platform, and I really don't know what to make of the Nintendo.
Oh, Laura, what's your decision gonna be then?
Whoa, I think I really like money, so I'm gonna sign on for the Sony platform.
Oh, come give Sony a big old kiss. That's right, you two have won a really third-party narrative game experience. Laura Blind Date. Bye-bye. And I think that, Dante, is very much how these Microsoft, and Sony and stuff choose the IPs.
This does seem like it's like lifted exactly from the world of business, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly how top level deals go down, right?
So we're pretty much, Joe, actually kind of lifted the veil a little bit and shown you what goes on underneath.
It's a service we provide. You're welcome, Jambaggers.
And that's it, Jambaggers. This is coming to the end of the podcast. And just now is a little section where we read out some of the questions we've been sent by listeners of the podcast that were sent to us via the social medias. So, Dante, without further ado, you are going to hit me with the first question, and we're both going to come up with brilliant answers, I presume. I didn't really rehearse this bit, so go for it.
All right. Well, I've had a question here. I'm paraphrasing it slightly from Khaleesi. It says, I am a video gamer who's terrible at video games, apart from 2 weeks, which I'm semi-reasonable at. I'm looking for a game that focuses on story more than gameplay. Although some non-challenging combat is fine, but something that really kind of moves the story forward rather than anything that's really going to get you frustrated or anything like that. Something similar to the Outer Worlds would be quite good. What would you recommend as a game that fits that description?
Right. Okay. I'm going to go with something that's fresh in my mind. I'm going to go with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh.
Okay. You can drop the difficulty down on that one if you want to just focus on story so that the battles, etc., are fun and you get to experiment, but they're not going to kick your ass, or you can play it at normal or you can unlock higher difficulties. So if you want combat to be a thing, play it at normal. If you want combat to take a back seat, you'll still fight lots of battles, but you're not really going to have any issues with, really overcoming them and stuff and getting through the boss fights. But it's one of the most, it's a Japanese, RPG title. So it's got, it's got a lot of anime tropes to it, but it's got great characters. It's weird. It's funny. It's moving. It's over the top. It's massively over the top, but it's incredibly cinematic. That's my vote. Dante, what have you got that's going to beat that?
I'm going to go with any of the last two entries from the Deus Ex series. Because they are heavily kind of based on story. The combat is kind of whatever you want it to be. You can set it to a low level with combat, but you can also take multiple approaches. You can take the going guns blazing. You can take the sneaking around. You can take the I'm actually just going to try and talk my way into places without actually having to hit anybody with anything. I think probably leans a little bit more towards stealth, but it's but it.
I mean, that's great. But do you fight a giant possessed house in an arena?
No,
you lose.
You
out.
You fight this augmented girl that keeps turning invisible, but yeah, it's not quite the same.
Exactly. So I think again, I think my idea is better. Khaleesi, you listen to me because this is what you want to play. Trust me, it's great. Okay, we've got a couple of questions this month from our dear friend Metal Shark. Still have a pint too.
Yes.
Sorry about that. We will
get to that at some point.
But this is this one I'm going to relay to you because Metal Shark sent us an advert for the AMD 5000G series APUs. But I'm going to read it to you as the marketing literally says it. This is a copy and paste from the tweet, so I know this is not me doing my normal kind of bollocks filter. But okay, ready? I'm going to try and get this right because it's a bit of a talk. And then I want you to tell me what this is telling you and what you think is going to happen if you purchase this
Ryzen 5000G. Yeah.
Yep. Think of the most difficult game you played.
Are you going to do that voice the whole way through?
Well, yeah, is that a problem?
Okay, I can get used to it. I'll try and get into it. Go on. Okay, go on.
Think of the most difficult game you played. Now times that level by difficulty by 100. That's still considered easy mode when playing on a Ryzen 5000G series powered PC. Dare we say you better up the difficulty by 1000 if you want to challenge this power.
Wait, what?
That's literally what it says. You've got the show notes in front of you. It's literally what it says. Go to the end.
Times that by 100. That's like something that would inhabit my nightmares. A game that I literally couldn't get.
You wouldn't be able to boot up the game. It'd be that.
No,
you wouldn't be able to go past the start menu.
You get through the tutorial would just be impossible. That's still considered easy mode when playing on whatever a Ryzen 5000G series Okay, so these are CPUs, right?
But basically, So it's basically if you've got what I'm trying to, are they saying that their product's crap,
or that they make games harder?
Yeah, or because Metal Shark makes a point is that these, apparently according to this, he's read it that they're so badly performing they make games 100 times more difficult. But I think Metal Shark's wrong here. Sorry, mate, but it actually says that times it by 100. But that's still considered easy mode, so up it by 1,000.
Okay, so if I bought one of these whatever PU type thing it is, this Ryzen 5000, I might actually be able to not suck at Sekiro.
Well, I think it's the other way around. I think you'd suck so hard that he'd lean out of the screen and stab you up in real life.
Yeah, that does seem like a thing that might happen.
But I mean, obviously, we're not. I mean, I've got a PC, but we're not really PC master racers. Maybe it's too clever for us. I don't know. So if any of you guys are listening, or girls are PC master racers, let us know what this means. Because to be honest, I've got no fucking idea what that says.
Yeah, those people with their superiority complexes.
Yeah, but you're right. I think it says that. I think you're wrong. I think it says that the game is 1,000 times more difficult, which means I don't want to buy it because I don't want my games to be more difficult because I'm crap at games anyway.
Either way, if an advert requires this much discussion, I'm trying to say it's probably not the best advert in the world.
Okay. Anyway, let's say next question.
Next question. Okay, so it's a statement from Starbuck. Gaming is like sex. Fun when you're on your own, but better when playing in a team. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I think there's a lot of conditions here, but I want you to answer this one first, Dante, because I don't want to say the wrong thing here.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've never had good experiences when I've had sex with an entire team of people, so I'm going to say no.
But yes. That is true. We never went to private school, so we never really got that experience. You see, it says fun. Gamers like sex. It's fun when you're on your own, but when I'm playing games, I prefer to play on my own. Obviously, I enjoy playing our multiplayer sessions myself, but I like to unwind a little bit there. So I consider playing on my own to be better. But then by just saying that, does that mean that I'm suggesting that it's better when I play with myself, like sexually? And you know what? Maybe it is. I don't get any, condescending comments or looks. I don't get any sighs of disappointment.
No, there's no giggling. There's no, is that it?
Yeah, there's no kind of, comparing me to past lovers. And
no one sat there wishing we were at Idris Elba.
Yeah, I'm always right on time. So you know what? No, I disagree. Actually, it's not like saying I enjoy playing games on my own, and I like having a right old go at myself because it's the only way I keep my self-esteem going. There you go. That's my answer.
Yeah, we're such classy boys. Okay, do we have one more question?
We have two more questions, actually, but we have another excellent one from Metal Shark, and he's got a challenge for us, and it says, if we're up for it, we're always up for it. You should know that by now, Sharky Matters.
Oh, we're always up for it. Yeah, we just talked about how up for it we are in that last question.
Yeah, on our own, obviously, but we could do it in different rooms. Anyway, in movies, you sometimes get brilliantly cheesy monologues as a character's last words when fatally wounded. Who can come up with the most clue-laden last words for an NPC in a title you've both played, condition there, without the other one being able to guess the name of the game? If both, neither guess, then the winner is the best performance. Okay.
All right.
So we've got to give away. So first we've got to think of the games we've both played, which is tough.
Yeah.
Because there is some overlap on, but we're very we've got our own tastes and our own loves, which is fine. And we've got an NPC in it. Okay, have you got one?
Okay. Find the unicorn we both had sex on. He has the answer to why I'm dead.
Oh, bloody hell. Find the unicorn we both had sex on.
Yeah.
That we've both played.
Are there any games you can think of that feature unicorn sex that we both played?
A unicorn. Oh man, I don't know. What's that? Unicorn sex. Well, I'm going to guess it's not a Nintendo title.
It sounds Japanese to me, but go on.
Is that a clue you're dropping?
No, it's not. If that's a clue, that's a completely sending you in the wrong direction. It's not Japanese.
It sounds like South Park, but I can't remember that from.
It's Witcher 3.
Oh, right. I've lost this because my one's really obvious. Because it's something I can think of. But here's my one.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Oh, I've got a fucking axe in my head.
Oh, that bit was great in Animal Crossing.
Well, I know, right? When Tom Nook comes up, it's just like you haven't paid him, and you just top him. That's just it. But no, it's not Animal Crossing. It's Hair Boutique 4 on the Nintendo DS.
No, it's Dr. Panda's Cookhouse. This game that my kids play on the tablet.
Cookhouse. It's a different game. It's a very different game. Cookhouse.
Yeah. Oh, it's Assassin's Creed something, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's going to be one with axes in it. So
Yeah, no, that's Valhalla, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, it wasn't. I mean, I do think my performance was better.
I liked your accent better than mine. I did a very terrible version of Yennefer. I felt that was not in any way good.
But at the same time, I forgot what you meant by a unicorn. It's that I was thinking of a real unicorn and thinking about how implausibly uncomfortable that would be for everyone, how dangerous if you fell for it. But yes, I do know the scene, and since I was in Team Yennefer when I played The Witcher 3,
yes,
and I still am.
Well, I played through as Team Triss one time because a good friend of mine that said just seemed to think Yennefer was the worst, and I thought, okay, I'll try it as Triss. But I really want to replay it through as Team Yennefer.
It helps if you know, especially now you've seen like the Witcher series, the backstory of why Yennefer's a bit of a bitch. Anyway, it's going off on a tangent there. We have one last question from our D&D partner Enzo. Or Enzo, as he's known, his dad's mother tree. This is based a little bit off a series of tweets that we put out on Twitter. But his question is: seeing as you're both double vaccinated people, we are go get vaccinated. How are your testicles? Obviously, referring to the Nicki Minaj controversy about a cousin's friend whose nads have swollen up apparently after having the things. How are your testicles, Dante?
Well, they are a little uneven, it has to be said. One seems to have gone to the sort of grapefruit level, right, whereas one is very much staying around about the sort of cranberry blueberry sort of stage. So there's a bit of an imbalance going on whenever I'm walking around, I have to say.
Mine's interesting. Mine aren't swollen, but one of them has become sentient, and I believe is slowly eating the other.
One is achieving dominance, isn't it?
Yeah, now, I wasn't sure what to do. Yeah, absolutely one. It's my left one, oddly enough, is achieving dominance over the right, even though I'm right-handed. I don't know if that's some kind of, physiological thing. I don't know.
I believe it's a scientifically proven fact that the left one is always the evil testicle.
Is it? That is. Yeah. Well, I thought that, and I tweeted Nicki Minaj repeatedly to see if she had any advice, because she's obviously a doctor and medical expert.
Very much an expert in testicles, like our horse guy from Cockstar.
Yeah, I just got a cease and desist letter from her sisters. So
what?
I know, which is really irresponsible. It's just like, well, if you're going to give medical advice, you better follow it through.
Well, yeah,
I've got one of my testicles is evil and is trying to eat the right one. I mean, come on. But
one of mine's dwarfed the other and is starting to have its own centre of gravity.
Yeah, the other one's starting to orbit it.
Yes, like a little fleshy moon.
Yeah, little shriveled up moon going around it, and every sort of and then you've got basically one bollock day. It's like the sort of time it takes for one to circle around is the bollock day.
Yeah, if I allow them out into the open air, the suntan they get is very strange.
I mean, it's a very however, That's how our testicles do, Enzo, and that pretty much brings us to the end of the podcast, Dante. So
it does.
Where can people find us on les socials?
Le Socials. Well, you may get in touch with Jambags through Facebook. If you search Facebook for Jambags UK, you'll find the Jambags Facebook page. You'll also find us on Twitter on multiple accounts. You'll find at Jambags_UK. You'll find Rudy Manchego's account, and at Dante RDRGZJB. You'll find the Dante Rodriguez account. That's a place you can converse with both of us on Twitter, talk about tweed jackets and Y-fronts and all that sort of stuff that people enjoy. You can also contact us through Jambags. Again, it's at Jambags_UK. I will start putting more stuff on there any day now. It's been a bit quiet on there lately, but yeah, we do put images of various things on the Instagram account. And you can also contact us through the message boards at the bottom of our YouTube account. So search YouTube for Jambags and you can talk to us there. We always love to hear your comments, criticisms, general insults, trolling, anything you want to do to interact with us. We're just that bored that we'll even take being slagged off to be as something to do. So thank you.
Yes. And in terms of getting hold of our material, you can find us on Spotify, you can find us on Apple Podcasts or any good podcast feed, or RSS feed app on your phone or device. And we also put a video copy onto our YouTube channel where there's also some other nuggets and bits and bobs that we've worked on in our spare time, which isn't much, to be honest. However, we do put a copy of the podcast on there, and you can comment and leave likes and subscribes and all those really good things. And if you are on any of the sort of platforms where you can like, subscribe us, or leave a comment and review, please do. It's a preferably positive one. Any engagement drives us up the charts, means we'll get more listeners and very surely take over the world and probably take Joe Rogan down in a few months. So yeah, that's it from us, Dante. Anything you'd like to close out on?
I think all that remains to say is that if you've had both your vaccination shots, like we have, and you want to make us stop talking very quickly, hit us right in the Jambags. Nicky, don't hang up. You're the expert on this. Look,
you got
I'll put you on speakerphone so you can hear.
Yeah. Nicky, we need to talk. We need to talk to you. Come on, please. Don't hang up. Come on.
She's not talking. We're talking. This is important stuff.
Okay.
So my one has gone from having its own gravity to possibly going supernova and might be turning into a black hole.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the other one is being sucked into it, and it's really pulling me sideways.
Yeah. That's not important though. Nicky, my one's more important. My left testicle now is so evil that it's grown a big moustache, a big moustache, and it's smoking a pipe, and it wants to invest in stocks and shares for Activision Blizzard. I don't know what to do with it, but I'm really worried it's going to do something really bad at some point, and possibly
help us, Nicky. Help us, Nicki Minaj. You're our only hope, please.
Oh, she fucking hung up.
What a bitch.
Seriously, she's asked about our testicles, and we had the vaccines on national insurance. Right, that's it. You know.
Yeah.
It's the last time I take medical advice from a.
Yeah. If she follows us on any socials, I'm kicking her. Jeez.
Yeah, absolutely.